Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, coming at you live to talk about episode 1 of the anime series, Just Because. Just Because. Terrible, terrible joke. No, I really thoroughly enjoyed this first episode, brand new series for the fall season, and I had read the synopsis and was somewhat intrigued by it. It's kind of a coming of age story. But the thing that really stood out to me with this first episode was the calm and relaxing nature of it. It was like wrapping yourself up in a warm blanket kind of thing. And there were elements of it that really reminded me, similarly so, cut from the same cloth, as a series like Hibike Euphonium, where we even have characters who are part of a brass band and some of that kind of similar music and everything. And it really drew me in. Even though I was kind of wondering for the first, almost 3/4 of the episode what exactly everything was going to amount to, because we're sort of tapering off the end of a school day, and some of the characters are worried about, catching up with cram school, and there's a character worried about, entrance exams for college and what the next big thing in their lives are going to be. That's kind of what is revolving around the minds of all these characters. And the sort of main crux of the plot, though, is a character who had moved away, that was familiar with this ensemble cast of characters. 4 years previously, his father had been transferred due to his employment, his business, and so this kid moved away and he lost touch with this group of characters. Well, now he's back, temporarily though it may be. We're told he's only going to be there for like the third semester of that year or whatever, before potentially moving on again, is sort of the implication I got. But the father was, transferred closer to this school again, so he's back in this school, and he is going to be able to sort of reunite with these people he lost touch with those 4 years ago. And times have changed, and but at the same time, so many things still remain the same in the relationship dynamic between this character and sort of the main focused male character, the male lead, if you will, Haruto. This character Eita, he's back, and they finally, after 3/4 of the episode, reunite, and Haruto is sort of consumed with hitting a home run on the baseball field, and we find a little more of the in-depth history as to why that is, but it's actually kind of a specious purpose. At first you think, oh, he's trying to make up for his failure in a game from some time ago, but actually it's kind of like, wishing on a falling star, because he wants to ask somebody out. He's got a crush on somebody, and this is his way. If I can do this, if I can, prove to myself that I can hit this home run, if I can knock it out of the park, I have a chance. I got a shot. And that's what it all amounts to by the end. But there's this great sort of coming back together between Haruto and Eita. And it's like even though 4 years have passed and they lost touch eventually, they were going to be texting each other all the time after Eita had first left. And eventually that sort of fizzled out. It petered out, and they lost contact with each other. But they pick it right up again. And there's a level of finding each other again on this, baseball diamond. Where at first Eita is out of practice pitching the ball, for Haruto to hit. But after a little while, after some commingling, after all of the blisters on Haruto's hand apparently burst, because he's just that emphatic about trying to hit these balls that Eita's throwing at him, once they get past that, suddenly Eita is right back to form. He's throwing whippers, right at Haruto, and eventually he hits one, and it goes out of the park, and it's like, it's the signal of hope. The changing of the guard is impending for the lives of these characters, and with their sights on their future, I think this story is very much going to be a coming-of-age tale, where they're kind of dealing with, here is this character who had become absent from their lives, and, there is some talk of his potentially having, well, at least implication, not so much talk, about his having an interest in one of the girls who is one of the main characters. I believe it's the one who's actually mostly focused on the entrance exams, Natsumi. And, that could be interesting dramatically, because if he's not even going to be here for that long, should he pursue that? Should he try to, rekindle anything that might have been there previously? Should he take a stab at seeing if there is anything worth exploring there? And where Haruto has all but decided he's going to go after the chick Hatsuki, who is the brass band, musician, and or at least that's the implication, because he says something about, oh well, I heard her playing, so she's probably still here. I'm going to go ask her out. And there were laugh out loud moments too, like just fun, quirky moments, dialogue between characters. But probably the thing that took the cake was the character of Kamiya, who is part of the photo club, and she is told as, Eita is talking to the vice principal or whatever, being welcomed to the school, and they're signing the documents, and he's trying to let Eita know what exactly everything is about and everything like that. And from the next room, screaming suddenly blasts through the wall, and it's this girl Kamiya, who has just been told her photo club is going to be shut down because they have accomplished nothing for a very long time, and she's livid. She's completely aggravated by this. The two male counterparts that are part of the photo club are kind of like, what can we do? She wants to like raise a revolution against this and everything. And it's kind of cool because there are parallels with the characters as well, where Eita, it's his first day back in this school, in this town, this environment, and he's, communicating via text message with a cat from the school he just came from. And there's one of the early jokes in the episode is like, some girls see the uniform he's wearing, which is not like their own school's, he's still wearing his old school uniform. And he tells the cat over the phone, oh, the girls saw your uniform. They're freaked out by it. And he's like, oh my God, Tokyo is scary. And he's not even in Tokyo. But the fact that the cat on the opposite end of the line thought, oh my God, it's scary. They think our uniforms suck and everything, or are freaky in some way. And just little like verbal cues like that, dialogue cues. So you have Eita going around and snapping pictures on his mobile device of his classroom, of what the school looks like, and this is the environment I'm now finding myself in. And that's a great parallel to Kamiya, who is actually taking proper photographs with a camera, and it's sort of through the prism of her own lens that we see, some of the reaction to the coming back together between Eita and Haruto when they are on that baseball field. And then, of course, we see the other ensemble castmates, again, Hatsuki, who is part of the brass band, she can see it from where she is. They're playing on a high floor, sort of opening area, like a walkway, and she can see down into the field, and Natsumi, who is the entrance exam, sort of worrywart in this first episode, she can see from the window. She hears, the bat hitting the balls and everything like that. So all of these characters are aware of Eita, who he is, that he is back, and it's just going to be interesting because, as I say, Natsumi is the one Eita apparently had interest in, and Haruto says, she goes here toward the end of the episode, so that implies maybe he will try to pursue that, but will he? Will he think better of it? Will he maybe make the mistake of foregoing any pursuit along those lines or interests along those lines because he figures he's not going to be here long anyway? And why jeopardize the heartbreak of putting himself out there if he's going to be gone again and potentially lose touch with everyone again? If that is, in fact, how it ends up playing out, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be covering this episodically, in reviews or discussions. I might. There's a likelihood I might actually go ahead and do write-ups over on my Facebook account, which is a personal account. If you have any interest in ever communing with me on anime or seeing my thoughts on anime that I don't happen to be covering in video format, it's a personal account. You can send me a friend request and we can jive back and forth that way, because I talk about a lot of anime over there. Just written posts with thumbnails and everything. And, but, take it as you will. We shall see. Depending on how I feel after episode 2 and after every subsequent episode, whether I'll be back talking about it on camera or if I'll pick it up for written reviews. But as a first impressions, singularly video as this is, I love this show. I love the calmness of it, the relaxing feeling of it, the warmth of it, the personality, and the laughs were genuinely funny and genuinely felt for all the funny moments. And I like the ensemble of characters, even though we only get little bits and pieces of the majority of them in this first episode. but there's so much promise in what we have learned about them. And again, with sort of the familiarity and feel that it has to Hibike Euphonium, in its pacing, in the charm of its characters, and the promise of Eita's having come back and what that's going to mean for the lives of these characters who once knew him, what it's going to mean for his own life, as he may eventually have to move on again and leave all this behind again. You know, what that fate spells out for him, I find compelling and intriguing, and I'm really thoroughly on board to keep up with just because. Why? Just because. I did it again. I did the stupid joke again. So anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 1 of Just Because, if you've seen it as well, if you enjoyed it as much as I did, if you felt similarly so to me that it's like wrapping yourself up in a warm blanket, just the pacing, the calmness, the relaxing vibe was comforting, for lack of a better term. And the comedic moments were genuinely laugh out loud funny. And you know, all that kind of stuff. Love it or hate it, anything goes in the comments below. Our POVs can certainly disagree, so if you don't share my opinion or thoughts on it, let me know why. You know, as long as we have a great conversation. So yeah, otherwise it'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.